Today we're going to do a movement exploration to reduce tension and improve range of motion in your neck, upper shoulders, chest, and upper back. When clients come to me with pain or tension in their neck, they often long for a stretch that will relieve their pain. Usually this tension exists as a protection, and the large muscles in this region are actually holding on and guarding to protect the upper body due to an instability or a lack of strength somewhere below. Your neck and your shoulders are supposed to have a lot of range of motion, so you can see tons of things, reach tons of things, but as you know, this requires a lot of coordination in timing, flexibility, and strength in several regions, everything from your trunk to the shoulder joint to the neck and head. When we do static stretches, we run the risk of putting strain or damaging some of the passive soft tissue in the area, either the fascia or the ligaments that exist at the different segments of the spine. So we're going to use the ball to facilitate a more gliding movement, and we're going to do coordination of movements of the head and neck and the shoulder where it's anchored. If you don't have an exercise ball, that's okay. Just grab a child's ball, like a playground ball or a soccer ball, and we're going to start out by placing it underneath your arm. Now, I know I'm wearing baggy clothes, so sorry, I'm not going to put it right up in my armpit. I'm going to get it against the lower half of the ribs, and then I'm just going to drape my arm over it. Right away, this should serve to offload some of the weight of your arm, which is one of the primary strains on the shoulder joint, just the fact that you have to carry that weight around. All right, so I pop that sucker in there. And first, I want you to explore the different ways the ball lets us create a gliding action of the shoulder blade. So you can see I'm elevating and depressing it, and I very easily can roll that shoulder forward and back, and the ball just wraps around the cylinder of my rib cage. Okay, so this way we can make some motion or create an anchor point at the attachments down here in the shoulder quadrant. First, let's explore that shrug and drop that we did. As you shrug your shoulder up, I want you to tilt your head towards the shoulder that's lifting, and then tilt it towards the opposite shoulder when you slide the shoulder blade back down. And then I'm going to bring them together and drop them apart. And I want you to sense where the range of motion is, where you just feel the beginning of a stretch. And when you get there, you just linger and come back. You're practicing the skill of decelerating and just the skill of noticing, the skill of sensation. Do two more. For some people, stretching feels like pain, and I want you to learn a spectrum, like a range of motion or an amount of sensation that is pleasurable rather than painful. Okay, let's explore this with rotation right now. So I want you to bring the shoulder forward, and I want you to look towards it, or just above it at the same time, actually. Keep your chin up. And then you're going to look away from it as you pull the shoulder quadrant back. So I'm rolling the ball towards the front of the rib cage and then towards the back of the rib cage as I look away. And same idea, I'm just playing around with feeling what range of motion is available and observing where is there a stretch, because for me, I feel it all the way down here. Right, which I would normally, this is a sensation of the chest, even though right now it is corresponding to neck movement. Turn away from that ball again, leave it pinned back. And now I want you to drop your chin towards your armpit, like you're giving it a little sniff, and then look up towards the ceiling. And now as you're going up and down with that chin, let's get the shoulder and the ball moving again. When your chin lifts up, I want you to shrug your shoulder with it still drawn back in space, and then I want you to slide it back down as you drop the chin. We'll keep exploring that up and down action. Okay, the region of soft tissue we're working on now anchors along each vertebra of the neck, but has attachment point at your scapula, the side that's closer towards your midline. Oops. I just messed up. Okay, so you've got two base movements there. While we still have the ball there, now I want you to explore moving in a small, adding small micro movements. So if we went back to just the shrug and drop, what is it like to turn your head up and down, looking at diagonal towards one side of the floor, diagonal to the opposite side where the wall meets the ceiling? And how does that affect the region I'm stretching? Your upper trap, which is what we're going for here, is a very ropey muscle. It literally gathers together, bundles, and twists into an attachment. So these little changes forward and back may be what helps you find like that one spot that feels like the trigger point, within the tension. Does that happen when we do the other one? Pull that shoulder back, drop that chin down, and just swing it a little side to side. Or tilt it a little side to side while keeping the general look down at the armpit. Okay, so by getting into the position and adding small motions, now you get to, again, add texture to what you're doing. Like, where within all of these fibers am I actually holding the tension? A muscle isn't one thing. It's a bunch of cells united together in function by its connective tissue. Like, imagine little sticks or little spaghetti strands all held together like a bundle by fascia. And we're trying to coordinate the power of each of those contractile cells to get something done. Let's move this ball to a different place. Now I'm going to have you put it against your chest, and I want you to feel like where there's kind of a hollow, like I have, especially if you're a woman, you have a breast there, or a pectoral muscle, and then it kind of ends, and there's like a little gap where the tissue's all soft before we get to the arm itself. So you're going to put that ball right in that area. And I want you to place that same arm around it so it's draped. And again, hold it against you, but let that arm be as passive as possible now. And we're going to make the movement happen with the opposite arm on top of it. Now, if we can go with just the ball, imagine a motion. I'm going to actually move this hand for a second. Diagonal towards my chin, away from my chin. Okay, so if this was a massage, I'm going from here to here, up, down. Okay, but I'm powering it from here, pulling, pushing. If I turn my body to the side, I'm bringing that arm. Okay, that's pretty big, but you get a sense right where I'm going. Now, I want to look at the ball, and sorry to be a weirdo, pretend you were going to kiss it. Okay, so I've hugged it already. I'm going to look at it, and I'm like lip to lip with the ball. And then we have a big fight. I changed my mind. I want nothing to do with you. So now I'm going to turn my head as I pull the ball down to the high corner of the room where the wall meets the ceiling. And then I'm going to go back to kiss it and then look away. If any of you have gotten tensegrity lessons from me, how's this for like a dysfunctional push-pull relationship? I love you. I hate you and don't know you. Okay, so now, I'm sorry, jokes aside, as I'm going back, bad jokes aside, if you don't know what I'm talking about, especially, as I'm creating this difference, this push and pull back and forth, I actually am getting the fascia itself stimulated by this gentle friction of the ball rolling back and forth. Fascia starts immediately under your skin. It's how your skin stays attached to your body. And your fascia is just one thing, ubiquitous throughout your body. So just by creating this gentle force, we're kind of waking up that component in this move. So here too, if you're finding this really beneficial, this pull away, you can keep the traction you created with these 2 points. And again, let's go back to those micro movements. What happens when I very slightly turn, tilt, or change the angle, or stay fixed at the head and play around with swinging or rolling at the shoulder. Okay. As you go through all of these activities, we're kind of like pinning and pulling on tissue, but still giving you functional control using your gaze and those little adjustments to find the part that's tightest. I'm going to turn sideways here for one more thing. All right, so now I'm going to place the ball at the breastbone, and I'm going to move the neck in coordination with moving my upper back. So this is going to really be powered by motion through my thoracic spine, the rib cage area. So at first, I'm just going to keep the ball on my breastbone, so we're going to have that like tactile feedback. I'm going to place my hands, both hands against the ball. And when I'm extending my spine, I'm going to lift my heart into the ball. As I lift the heart, I'm going to pull my elbows back. So I'm giving a little extra squeeze into the ball. And that helps my shoulder blades slide together, which has to coordinate with my spine bending. So you feel a little pinch there. And then I'm going to round forward, letting my elbows hang a bit, letting my shoulders round forward, and kind of collapsing into a flexed position. So you see I'm kind of like a candy cane now. And I'm going to rise up from my heart, drawing the elbows back, looking up to the ceiling, and then I'm going to soften back down, letting my body curl around the ball shape. I'm going to push up into the ball and then flex forward. And so the whole time, my shoulder blades are coming together when I draw the elbows back, and they're spreading apart when I flex forward. If you don't have a lot of glide there, it might actually be limiting your ability to move your thoracic spine and your neck. And this is what I mean by coordination. An awful lot of timing has to go on for this whole corner of your body to work together. So if you feel really sticky there, and we don't have a bunch of scapular glide, hold the ball in your hands and just change the move a little bit. When you're flexing forward, push the ball away like you're trying to touch the wall, and reaching for something is a great way to get the blades to spread. Then bring the ball right back into your chest as you look up. And then you're going to flex the spine, push away, bring it into your chest and look up. One more time, and then back up. All right, last but not least, you're going to place your ball on top of your head and place your hands on top of the ball. If that's too high, you can put your hands here. If that's too weird, you can put your hands here. But we like weird, right? Okay. I want you to create both a force of pushing down on the ball so you really can sense it on your head. And then make your head push up into the ball so you are in your tallest posture with your head, ribs, and hips stacked up. Now, just sway side to side, slowly, of course. And here we're coordinating in this side bend, a fluid transition side to side so that your head and neck, your thoracic spine, all those ribs, and your shoulder blades are working together to accomplish this. One shoulder blade sliding down, one sliding up as you tilt, and you can feel one side of the rib cage compressing as the other side expands. With the hands overhead, I mean, there's lots of ways you could side bend, but with your hands overhead, we also are stretching out your lats, a big, powerful back muscle that's also a shoulder muscle. And for many people, that can be so dominant, it restricts the whole shoulder region from its optimal movement. So hopefully coordinating several ranges of motion in that nice, smooth tick-tock pattern like you feel when you're on the reformer will help you improve the mobility, but also teach your brain better concepts of control. How do I keep my motion while supporting a stable body? I'm not going to do the other side. You can start that over and do it again. But if you need more support on the structures underneath, there are lots of half-an-hour Pilates workouts you could be doing to give you that foundation of support. Rock on. Have a great day.